to notify you that the purpose of this statement is to brief Parliament on the commemoration of the 16 days of activism campaign against gender-based violence 2024. The 16 days of activism campaign against gender-based violence is a global campaign that was inaugurated in 1991, spearheaded by the Women's Global Leadership Institute, a program that is in Rutgers University in New Jersey, USA, which trains women in leadership based on global good and practice. The campaign has since grown globally and is marked with a wide range of activities organized by government and stakeholders. This year, 2024, marks the 33rd anniversary of the 16 Days of Activism campaign against gender-based violence. In 2008, another initiative, Unite, End Violence Against Women by 2030, was launched in the United Nations to reinforce 16 Days of Activism campaign. The Unite campaign calls for global action to increase awareness, galvanize advocacy efforts, and share knowledge and innovative measures to address gender-based violence. The inaugural 16 Days of Activism campaign in Uganda started in 2008 under the leadership of the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, and has since been adopted as an annual campaign to galvanize efforts by state and non-state actors to commit to eliminate gender-based violence. The campaign contributes to the effort to deliver on the national, regional, and national commitments to gender equity and women's empowerment, which include the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development Goal, specifically Goal 5 on gender equality, Uganda Vision 2040, and the Third National Development Plan 2020-2025, among others. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, the impact so far is that government has initiated policies and a lot of legal frameworks to prevent and respond to gender-based violence, and among them, Act 2023, among others. We have also amended laws to address gaps in addressing gender-based violence, and over the years, they include the Employment Amendment Act 2023, Succession Amendment Act 2023, the Land Act, among others. There are also relevant policies that have been developed as key national policies to eliminate gender-based violence, specifically the Gender-Based Violence Act 2016. As a result, there is increased awareness on women's rights and response to gender-based violence. There is increased reporting, which is evidenced in the Police of Annual Crime Report, and we want to state that what used to be a taboo for men to report violence against them by women, they have now started responding and they are reporting. The deliberate efforts to widen platforms for reporting by government and stakeholders has yielded great results. Right Honorable Speaker, we have a Sauti Free Line 116. On this helpline, 2 days ago we're there, they are able to record 1,500 cases per day. Those are the ones which they are able to record, but they receive about other 4,500 cases that remain pending because we have limited staff to receive and record these cases on that helpline. The commitment of government and partners to ensure continued access to integrated services by survivors through the current 21 functional shelters has ensured much needed immediate services such as temporary accommodation, psychosocial support, legal aid, medical examination and treatment, resettlement, and integration to communities. Continuous involvement and dialogue with religious and cultural leaders is ongoing as gatekeepers of social cultural norms that perpetuate violence against women and girls. It has been instrumental in making public pronouncements which cascade violence while calling for peaceful coexistence and respect for human rights. The cultural institutions under the umbrella of the Council for Traditional Leaders of Africa, KOTRA, Uganda chapter, has made several commitments to end violence against women and girls. We have strengthened coordination for addressing gender-based violence from national to local level. The structure, including the high-level GBV referral groups at the national level, which has a commitment at the district, which has committees at the district level. Other local structures and initiatives to address gender-based violence include the Women and Youth Peace Mediators, who provide mediation in communities, the male role models and male action groups, survivors, support groups, parasocial workers, and paralegal, who have been at the community foot soldiers in offering support and referral pathway to gender-based violence survivors. Right, Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, this year's global theme is towards 30 years of the Beijing Platform for Action, Unite to End Violence Against Women and Girls. Uganda has adopted this global theme as a national theme. The campaigns call for all duty bearers, state and non-state actors around the world to end violence against women and girls, and prioritizes the review of the 30 years of implementation of the Beijing Platform for Action and the political declaration focusing on commitment, accountability, and resourcing. These include implementation of comprehensive strategies in partnership with women's rights organizations, allocating necessary budgets, and actively reporting on progress to end impunity and prevent violence against women and girls. Particular urgencies regarding to most extreme manifestation as femicide is escalating worldwide and is beginning to crop within our systems. Femicide is the deliberate killing of women because of their gender. Right, Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, when we were tallying the biggest cause of violence, there was a point to alcohol and drug abuse this year, 2024. And the second one, we were evaluating the performance of PDM, and many of the people who are reporting violence are talking about the men's need to control the PDM money which has been received by women. That was also another pointer. As a global community approach, the 30 years anniversary review of the implementation of the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action and following 2023 SDG Summit calls for accelerated progress towards achieving the 2030 Agenda Violence Against Women and Girls. It remains alarmingly prevalent across private and public space and across all its forms. Despite the efforts to demand justice and accountability and some notable progress in preventing and responding to violence against women and girls, significant challenges persist and they need to be addressed. The Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development is coordinating the organization of the national launch, which was held on the 25th of November 2024 at Hotel Africana in Kampala, and a number of activities have also been planned by stakeholders, including government MDAs, development partners, civil society organizations, private sector, religious and traditional and cultural leaders throughout the 16 days across the country. The 16 days of activism campaign will therefore have already commenced, and they started on the International Day of Elimination of All Forms of Violence Against Women and Girls, and this was flagged off in various activities up to the district level, and we shall progress with the national theme to end. It will end on the 10th of December 2024. This is just a battle time. The war continues. The fight continues throughout the year. Right, Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, I wish to inform you that the objective of the campaign is to call for action for all stakeholders to accelerate action to implement laws and policies to prevent and respond to violence against women and girls with adequate resources in accordance with the international and regional convention and commitments. It's also to strengthen the justice sector, ensure meaningful access to gender-responsive justice to women's and marginalized groups, enabling them to seek remedies without fear of negative consequences, and to raise awareness about the magnitude of violence against women and girls, and calling for zero tolerance of the vice across society and prevent violence through transforming harmful social norms. Right, Honorable Speaker, we note that there are also some men who are undergoing violence, but the magnitude of the problem is bigger. Yes, we do not, and that's why the Ministry of Gender is responsible for both men and women. But the magnitude of the problem remains much bigger for women than men. I take this opportunity to inform you that this year's national launch of 16 days has already been held, but we shall continue with the conversation. Right, Honorable Speaker, I am privileged to have been consulted by your office that you intend to run another discussion with Parliament when we are not in the House, but outside, so that you can get all these reports from the different agencies. We have moved to a level of quantifying in monetary terms what we lose as a country when we do not act on violence against women and girls, and how long it will take us to achieve gender equality, or even develop to the middle income status if we do not attend or address to gender-based violence. Right, Honorable Speaker, once that time comes, I really pray that all of us are able to join, because on many occasions when we invite members of Parliament, they do attend fine, but a number of them are also engaged in different activities of committees, and so the attention we get does not touch everybody. Not everybody is able to make it. So we pray that within that session, everybody is able to come, so that we handle these vices, because they affect each one of us, irrespective of age, economic status, level of education. All of us are affected by violence against women and girls. Honorable members, I appeal to all of you to be part of this campaign by participating in vigorously, organize engagements at different levels, and as we go back to the villages for Christmas, I pray that you take these voices so that we can all be counted to be fighters against violence, whoever is affected. I beg to submit.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Honorable Minister, for your statement and on your creation of awareness and accountability that have been taken to eliminate the gender-based violence. And as I said before, this violence is not only on girls, women and girls, but it is against women and men. You find men even suffer in silence. Most men suffer in silence. So the awareness should be created to all. It should be created to all. Yes, Doctor.
Right Honorable, I want to appreciate the opportunity. I want to appreciate the report of the statement of the Minister. Right Honorable, as you have said, there are many societies in this country where men are suffering silently. I want to implore the Minister to include in her work and report the issue of violence against men and against the boy child, especially from the stepmothers. That is a big issue for boys. And lastly, Right Honorable Speaker, Right Honorable Speaker, I expected
some, not all,
of course, not everyone, not every stepmother, but in many stepmothers. Right Honorable Speaker, I expected that this report, being informative, will give us data on the prevalence of the domestic violence. disaggregated region by region, and what are the causes?
And,
so that
and on women and then on men.
Exactly. So that we will know how to attack, and I believe that will be a good source for awareness right now.
And Dr. Mutusi, one thing that we should not run from, that these empowered women, well-educated women, women who have it all, end up mistreating these men. The men are suffering. Me, I'm telling you, I have been involved in counseling people. Even the Prime Minister will tell you, Prime Minister, you first assure them. Men have issues that we are keeping quiet with. Let's look at both men and women. All these people are suffering. It is just maybe the magnitude that differs, but all these people are suffering. So you need to look at area by area, and then the percentage of the people, both women and what? And men. You want to debate a report which is informative, yes?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to thank Dr. Abedi Wanika for that very good submission. However, Right Honorable Speaker, also men who struggle with their wives, after getting money, they abandon them and start marrying many wives, should be cautioned, because when you marry your wife, you struggle with her. How do you abandon your wife after getting money? When you are struggling with your wife, you should also continue enjoying your sweat with your wife. I beg to submit, Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, Hajat.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable David Kabanda is my brother, and I can confidently say that he doesn't have marriage experience. Therefore, he has no moral authority to talk about issues of marriage. However, Right Honorable Speaker, allow me also add, as we thank the Minister for the good speech, the good statement, that the unabated actions of state actors that interfere with government institutions into the operations worsen the situation of gender-based violence. Indeed, gender-based violence should be looked at into both fronts, man or woman. But you know, when state actors go and act in a way that dismisses institutions completely, first of all, it increases conflict, causes displacements, disturbs people's families. That has increased cases of gender-based violence. Also, the stereotyping we have that makes people even fear to talk about issues. For example, Right Honorable Speaker, last time when I was here and talked about the violence that was committed against me, one media house chose to report that I came to the Speaker and asked the Speaker to investigate on many that touched my neck. Very, very different from what I submitted here. That is to create stereotype among women so that a woman will fear to talk about issues once they have been affected. So stereotyping in our communities, the unabated institutional abuse by government actors exacerbate gender-based violence in our communities. That the minister should be able to touch it as we fight against gender-based violence.
Thank you. Yes.
Right Honorable Speaker, yes, I agree. I am your brother and you are my sister. But however, on this issue of marriage, I think it doesn't have to do with
There
experience.
is no school for experience of
Because,
marriage.
Right Honorable Speaker, today when I was reading a government paper, New Vision, I have read a story where a couple that has been together for 50 years, today that couple is no more. So you cannot say that Kabanda, who is not married, cannot talk about these issues of marriage because of, please, yes, I am not,
Honorable member.
I am only saying that, and Right Honorable Speaker, some men here were bitter with me, but this is
You know,
the truth.
Honorable Kabanda is very correct. You men here, you men, you come from the village. When you become, somebody helps you to become a member of parliament. When you come here, become a member of parliament, all you do, you go and start marrying left, right, center, and leave the women who helped you to come to parliament. Leave the women suffering there. Kabanda is very right.